Welcome back to Cartoon Universe. My name is Deepcut, and finally we have answers to questions that we have been asking for almost 2 years now. What is up with all the Rose Quartzes at the human zoo? The first time we saw them, we had no reason to believe that they were anything other than what we saw, a massive army of Rose Quartzes who were bubbled because of the war crimes of Steven's mother. She was believed to be a Rose Quartz herself at the time, of course, so it made sense that the diamonds might poof and bubble them all for being a possible risk to their society. The Rose Quartz seemed like an excellent choice for workers at the human zoo. Our Rose Quartz had healing tears, she could control plants to do her bidding, and many of her powers were defensive. Considering she rebelled to protect the humans from the gem invasion, it stood to reason that they were all made to protect the humans of the human zoo. It honestly makes too much sense now, which caused a lot of problems when we found out that Steven's mom was actually a pink diamond. After that, a lot of people assumed that she disguised herself to look like the already existing race of Rose Quartzes, but in the very next episode, the amethysts are presented as being the first of the gems to be made on Earth, yet Pink disguises herself as a Rose Quartz immediately after they are born. We found out that the human zoo wasn't made until some time after that, and presumably the Rose Quartzes were made at that time for the zoo as well. This raised so many questions, and people had some really interesting theories about it. People thought that maybe the other Rose Quartzes weren't even real. There were entire discussions rationalizing the idea that Pink Diamond bubbled a whole bunch of fake, lifeless Rose Quartz gems that she created at the human zoo before her shattering. There were terrible theories that the diamonds had no idea that this entire race of gem was fake. But the truth was actually rather simple. In the episode Rosebuds, we finally meet the real Rose Quartzes, and they are a diverse bunch. Some of them look almost exactly like Steven's mom, but others have different hair, different clothes, different styles of speaking, personalities, everything. They are probably the most diverse race of gems we have seen, with the others being largely homogeneous even if they do have small differences. During the episode, they finally reveal what actually happened to them, but the answer is a bit underwhelming, unfortunately. Pearl says that they were made by Pink Diamond, implying that they were designed to look like the Rose Quartz that she was already taking the form of. Now this could mean that the actual design of gems is more in control of what the diamonds want than we thought, which honestly makes sense. Corrupted gems are just gems who are, well, corrupted, but it likely means that if they wanted to, they could create a new program for, say, the Jaspers, and have them pop out of the kindergarten looking already corrupted, but this would be their natural form. However, if you look at all the different quartz soldiers that we've seen throughout the show, creating a Rose Quartz army that looked the way they do actually wouldn't have been very difficult. The whole point of disguising herself as a Rose Quartz was so that Pink could blend in with the amethyst, being visually the same but with different colors. Some of them even had curls in their hair, something Peridot says would be because of extra iron deposits in the particular area of their creation. Like the Jaspers, the Rose Quartz are very similar in build to the amethyst, and many of them have similar hair. The point is that all quartz soldiers are very visually similar, to the point where even when they get corrupted, they still look similar to each other. So in the end, programming them to look like her wouldn't have actually been all that hard. It would have just been a matter of choosing a quartz similar in color to herself. It does raise some questions though. Were they made specifically for the human zoo, for instance? According to one, they haven't seen the surface of the Earth since the day they were created, so it seems that they were immediately transported to the zoo. It is possible that they were being made first. After all, there are a lot of other quartz soldiers seen throughout the show, usually in the form of uncorrupted gems, but they do exist. So it is possible that like these gems, they were created to be just general soldiers like the amethysts were, but they in particular were chosen after they came out of the ground. However, I think it's much more likely that they were programmed specifically to work at the human zoo. Now that may answer that, but what about their powers? Well, it wasn't explained in the episode, but I do think we can extrapolate an answer from what they did give us. I believe that their abilities are similar to Pink Diamond's, but not nearly as powerful. During Your Mother and Mine, Garnick's artistic interpretation of the creation of Steven's mother as a Rose Quartz seemed to indicate that she had powers above the rest, but those powers specifically seemed like something all Rose Quartzes would need when taking care of humans at a zoo, or would at least be found useful. While gems like the eyeball ruby seem to indicate that her power to heal broken gems is definitely unique to her, characters don't act like the type of powers that she had were all that odd. We know that gems are created using oils from various diamonds, and that the color of the gem is created using a mix of different diamond oils. For instance, blue diamond plus pink diamond make purple amethyst. And in a previous video, we theorized how various powers might come from those diamond oils as well. For example, a lot of gems that are entirely blue, like blue diamond, tend to have water-based powers, such as lapis literally controlling the ocean, aquamarines also having water wings, and sapphire having ice powers. A rose quartz would be made almost entirely from pink diamond oils, meaning that a lot of their powers may be based entirely off of hers. Do I think they could bring back the dead or fix cracked gems? Probably not, but maybe a broken bone or a sprained wrist? Quite possibly. Ultimately, these answers were kind of underwhelming. Since it wasn't addressed in the original show, fans thought that there might be a big backstory to all of this, a sort of conspiracy about the entire race of Rose Quartz, with an entire episode being dedicated to explaining it all here in Steven Universe Future. But all we really got was a few throwaway lines within the episode that was much more about Steven's psychological issues, but more on that in another video. While the answers were a lot more simple than a lot of us were hoping for, I personally think that is actually a really good thing. Steven Universe Future is an epilogue series, not a sequel series. If the information they had given us radically changes the context of the original story, then it also hurts the integrity of that story. And that was the story that they were setting out to tell us, not Steven Universe Future, which is only meant to wrap up the loose ends. These answers are things that we more or less already believed to be true within the community. They were natural assumptions based on the information gave to us. It was just a little too vague for us to know for sure exactly what was going on. But now we know that we can watch the series without having to do the extra research of this epilogue series just to enjoy the story of the original. We can accept Occam's razor, that the simplest answer is most often the correct one. That is all I have for you guys today, but let me know what you guys think of this theory, and I'll see you next time.